Welcome to your video on dimensional analysis. Dimensional analysis is just a fancy way of saying that we're going to be making conversions by using a unit factor. A unit factor just means we're multiplying by something that is equivalent to 1. So for example, let's say you were going to travel from Hartford to Slinger. Slinger is 5.3 miles away from Hartford. But let's say you wanted to know how many feet you would be traveling instead of how many miles. So to convert miles to feet, sometimes you have to multiply, sometimes you have to divide, and a lot of times students can't remember which way to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use what's called dimensional analysis. We're going to cancel out our units to figure out the math that should go with it. So I'm going to multiply by a unit factor. That means a fraction that is equal to 1. What I want to do is I want to cancel the miles. I want these to be gone. So if in order for something to cancel, I have to have it on the other side of the fraction. So by putting miles down there, I would be canceling it. Since I want to go to feet, I'm going to put feet on the top. We have listed some common unit factors here in your notes, and we're always going to refer back to these. The conversion that we want is 1 mile to 5,280 feet. So here I'm putting 1 mile with the miles unit and 5,280 with the feet unit. Now, we're treating these units just like we would the numbers. So the miles are going to cancel, and we're just left with feet. So now all we have to do is multiply out 5.3 times 5,280. If you type it into your calculator, you will discover that Slinger is 27,984 feet from Hartford. And we figured that out just by looking at the units and canceling. So that's what dimensional analysis is. Here are some examples. First, we're going to convert centimeters to meters. Now, some of you are going to be able to do this without any dimensional analysis at all. But for those who have struggled in the past, all we're going to do is look at our units. So I write down the 45.3 with the centimeters attached. Then I know I need to cancel centimeters because I don't want my final answer in centimeters, so I'm going to put that on the bottom. And I know my final answer should be in meters, so I'm going to put that on top. Now I just look for the unit fraction that I'm looking for, and right here I've got centimeters to meters. So in 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters. What happens are these centimeters cancel, the meters are left, and now when you multiply straight across, the 45.3 times 1 obviously stays 45.3. And then on the bottom, we've got 100. So we end up dividing that out, and we get 0.453 meters. In our second example, we're taking that same number, the 45.3 centimeters, only this time we want to end up with an answer in millimeters. If you look at our unit factors list, there is no direct conversion from centimeters to millimeters. So you're basically going to take the information that we did in the previous column. So first I'm going to convert the centimeters to meters, and then I can convert the meters. Notice the meters are going to the bottom, so we're going to cancel the meters from the top, into millimeters. So in 1 meter, there are 1,000 millimeters, and that was this unit conversion right here. And again, for some of you, this is going to seem like a lot of extra work because you just know how to do this. And that's fine. You can just go ahead and do this. Dimensional analysis is really for those that can't remember, do I multiply, do I divide, what do I do? So what you type in your calculator is 45.3 times 1,000, and then you would divide that result by 400, and you're going to end up with 453 millimeters. As you're watching this video, don't always take my word for it. Make sure you're pausing and actually trying these things on your calculator just to guarantee that you're getting the correct answer. All right, our next question, how many seconds are in a day? Think about, well, this isn't a fact that you should just know, first of all, but it's not something that's too difficult to figure out. So we know that we have 1 day. But I also know that I don't want to end up in days. I want to end up in seconds. So I know that I have to cancel days. And just think about a fact that you know about a day. Most people know that there are 24 hours in a day. So that's going to be my unit factor, 24 hours in one day. So I have successfully canceled the days. But I don't want hours, I want seconds. So now I start thinking about, okay, well, in an hour, in 1 hour, I know how many minutes there are. There are 60 minutes. So we're getting a little bit closer. I cancel out the hours. But again, I don't want minutes, I want seconds. So now I have to get rid of minutes and make sure I end up in seconds. And in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. So now I have canceled the minutes, and I'm ending up with an answer that is in seconds. So we really haven't done any math yet. We've just kind of written out our plan. So now you would take in your calculator and you would multiply the 24 times the 60 times the 60, and you would learn that there are 86,400 seconds in one day. Again, not a fact that you should know off the top of your head, but something that's really easy to figure out when you consider the dimensional analysis. All right, our last example is the most difficult. We are converting 55 miles per hour, and we want to change that into feet per second. So we actually have two units that we're dealing with here. We're going from miles to feet, and then we're also going to go from hours to seconds. So just start out by writing what you know. We know that we have 55 miles per hour. That per indicates that we're dividing. So let's first get rid of the hours, and let's get it into seconds right away. So I know that I have hours on the bottom, so I need hours on the top, and hours can go to minutes first, and then I know that I can convert minutes into seconds. Okay, so I'm just putting the units in first. Those are the dimensions. Now I'm going to put in my unit factors. So I know that in 1 hour we have 60 minutes, and I know that in 1 minute we have 60 seconds. So what I've done now is I've canceled the hours, I've canceled the minutes, and I have something that is in seconds, which is what I want. Now, the feet part of it can be taken care of by using our unit factor up here. 1 foot, oh, not that one, sorry. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So here, we are going to cancel the miles, because right now I have miles on top and miles on bottom. And we want feet on top. So there are 5,280 feet every 1 mile. And just check again that you canceled your units. We canceled the miles here and the miles here. And we ended up with feet, which is what we wanted. Now again, we still have to do the math. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage you to press pause. And I want you to work this calculation out on your calculator. If you forgot how to multiply with fractions, you just go straight across. So multiply all the numerators together, and then multiply all the denominators together, and then do your division. So press pause, do this calculation. And now that you've finished your calculation, you should have the same answer that I do here. It's 80.7 feet per second. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, you can talk to your teacher and to get more details about this. But otherwise, you should now be set to begin your practice on dimensional analysis.